is Morgan Kessler, and today my presentation is over anxiety and sadness, but this time mostly sadness. So here's a table of contents so that you guys can see a little bit of a preview of what I'm going to cover in this presentation. If you get the chance to watch my first presentation, it went over anxiety into greater detail, but today I'm going to go over sadness a little bit deeper. As a refresher, this is what Merriam-Webster defines sadness as: being affected by or expressive of grief and or being downcast. So what is sadness? Everyone at one point or another has been sad about something in some way during our lives. Sherry and Stossy said that sadness is heartache. The link between sadness and physical pain, such as heartache, has been empirically proven. However, the mental foundations that support the connection between sadness and pain still remain unclear. If you think about it, when you're sad, there's no one place that your body hurts. Like when you get hurt, you hurt. Like say you pinch your finger, well, your finger hurts. Well, when you're sad, it doesn't really hurt. It's just you're just sad, like you're just downcast. To me, being sad feels like what a plant looks like when there's no water or sunlight, just like droopy, wilted, like just not good. You need something to pick you up. I do not feel any physical pain when I'm sad or heartbroken. It is something I feel in my soul. Like you feel it deep, and you're like, man, today just isn't a good day. Like something happened and you just don't feel good. That's sadness. So my personal experience with sadness is definitely bolder than the one I've had with anxiety. Anxiety is very fresh for me. Personally, I believe that I got the anxiety issues from having to deal with the sadness. When I was 17, I had a very traumatic experience with my family that scarred me for life. My whole life, my parents never really got along. I knew from a young age that they would not be together forever. As a young child, I really never thought about it because it was not something that I could fully understand or wrap my head around. However, as I got older, more of the aspects of the issues and all the fights that they had were coming into the light, and I was starting to understand them more. Regardless of all the issues, I spent a lot of the time growing up learning how to rope from my dad and being around my dad. He was my dad, my coach, my best friend, my taxi driver, all the above. He was my dad. So as many of you could imagine, when he left, I had lost the person I spent over 99% of my time with, who taught me everything I knew about roping. Everything I did now, I did alone. What I used to do was with him, and now I'm alone. Suddenly he was gone. I miss not having my dad around to teach me the ways of life, the life that I lead with rodeo, and life outside of rodeo. When I broke down, my pickup didn't run. I needed advice with rodeo. My horses weren't working. I needed money. There was no one to call. I had to figure it out on my own. The loneliness was what really made me sad. It caused me to have severe self-worth issues, which is what really made me sad. I had no confidence in myself, no confidence in the competitor who I was, nor who I was as a person anymore. I lost myself there for a little while, and I decided that I needed to start a journey to figure out who I was as a young adult, who I am, and who I want to be without my father. Because, even though he left, one point or another, I'm going to have to figure it out on my own, right? He's not going to be able to be there for the rest of my life. So I had to learn how to become my own person. Now I'm going to take a deeper look into sadness through tears. First of all, Moskova says that there are 3 reasons why a person may cry. In order to have healthy eyes, all eyes, they have to make tears throughout every day. These tears, usually they're not seen. They're just like moisten on the brim of your eye. People also cry because of emotions. They could cry because they're happy. They could cry because they're sad. Maybe they're confused. Maybe they had a bad day. There are emotions that a person can feel that could possibly make them cry. Lots of emotions. Any emotion can make you cry depending on how you take it. It's a personal thing. Our eyes also make tears when something that's not supposed to be in them, some foreign object, is in your eye, because it is trying to clean it out so that it doesn't get hurt. It's the way of protecting itself. It seems as though no one really knows why tears are what they are, but they are definitely connected to emotions somehow, because 90% of the time when you're sad, maybe just one little tear comes out, but that's what happens when you're sad. Crying is a way that humans show a signal that something is wrong, or that something is just not having a good day. So when we are overwhelmed with some sort of emotion, we either laugh or we cry. I believe it's unique to personality whether someone laughs or cries when they're happy or sad. I do think that gender also has a unique effect on crying as well. There are studies that show that women cry more than men do, and I'm sure many men will tell you that. However, this ratio seems to be affected by what social environment the people live in as well. So if it's socially acceptable for a man to cry in some area, maybe it's not just a woman thing to cry. Through personal experience of sadness, an overwhelming amount of sadness can be hard to understand or to process. And maybe that's why we cry, because we don't know how to understand it or process it. So our only way of letting it out is by crying. I think it's the body's way of expressing the emotions that we are feeling due to the fact that we do not know how to handle them. We don't understand how to talk about them yet. We haven't fully processed them yet. I think this is a good thing, especially when we are done crying. We can process the situation that happened to us and work through it when you're done. I know that in my journey of experiences with sadness, sometimes there's no way to understand the things that happen, and taking a minute to be upset about it is actually the only way that you can work through it. Next, I'm going to be talking about sadness as shown through psychology. Sherari and Soshi said that the identified relation between sadness and physical pain supports the theory that emotional experiences are an interactive product of extroception and introception based on the interaction between the body, mind, and social situations. What this is basically saying is that your body is sensing the conditions outside of the body and inside of the body, and working the mind and body together to decide what they feel. Therefore, if there's something going wrong outside, so on the physical aspect of it, the outside of the body senses that. The inside senses the situations that are going on inside of the mind, whether to be sad or upset about it or happy about it. I think this is a really cool aspect of our brain. It shows that our body is capable of protecting itself and telling itself what is wrong, without us even having to tell it what to do. It just does it. Surely if our body can tell us we are hurt, both mentally and physically, it can also tell us that we are happy after the storm has passed, whether it be mental or physical. In conclusion, there are many different aspects of sadness that play into how it affects us as human beings. In complete honesty, though, I am grateful for sadness, because it gives me the opportunity to overcome things that I never thought that I would. I never thought that I'd overcome the fact that my dad left, but I am figuring out myself and who I am without him. Also, if you think about it, if no one was ever sad, what would the purpose of living be? Everybody would be happy, there'd be nothing wrong, there'd be no purpose in life. Having something to be sad about does not mean that your life is over. It means that you have to figure out a way to pick yourself up and rise above the struggles that everyday life throws at. Nothing in life will stay aesthetic. Sometimes a little ugliness makes the beauty that much prettier. Even if tears come with the sadness and heartbreak, which they usually will, it'll still be okay. Because after every rainstorm becomes a rainbow. Here's my works cited. Thanks for listening, guys.